At the wee hours of today, the 17th of June 2022, you had the Golden State Warriors winning once again, talking about the Larry O'Brien Trophy, beating Boston Celtics in the best of 6 games throughout the NBA Finals series to clinch the title for the 2021-2022 season. And you have to say it is a well-deserved one at that. And what a way to win it for Steph Curry, talking about his maiden Finals MVP. Remember in 2015 when they won, it was Andre Iguodala who won the MVP, while in 2017 and 18 when they won the ring, it had to do with KD, that's Kevin Durant, winning the Finals MVP. So for Steph Curry, it is his 4th championship and his 1st MVP title, and it is well-deserved in a series where he averaged 31.2 points per game. This is The Arena, and I'm Samson Olede. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Promises to be another exciting, edition of the show. More importantly, it is the last for the week, and you can rest assured we would end it on a spectacular note. I'm being joined now by, how do I describe it? So many things are cropping up to my mind, but Victor Ibrahim is here. He is a sports analyst. He is an HR personnel as well, and more importantly, he is a Golden State Warriors fan. And today is his birthday, so it's celebrations galore.
Warriors in 6.
Warriors in 6. Let me start with the most important. Yeah. I mean, good. Congrats, another birthday celebration. How does it feel?
Well,
achieving this.
All thanks to God. Yeah, all thanks to God. And I had the perfect
birthday gift.
Waking up to this, oh my God! Like I was like, I'm going to finish you today on the show.
I mean, you didn't sleep. It's obvious.
Yes. Yeah. It was a good one. It was a good.
Great. So let's hit it. Starting with the Warriors. Where did it? Before we go to the Warriors, defending champions, what they did right, let's start with the Celtics. Where did they get it wrong in the series? There were 2 games to 1 up in the series, and they just needed to protect home court to go 3-1 up. They lost 3 games to lose the game and to lose the series entirely. So where did it all go wrong for them?
Okay, so one has to look at character, right? Because it's not just talent any longer, because the Boston Celtics had the talent. They don't have the character. So you look at, it's a very young team,
definitely,
very young core, very fantastic, and they are very athletic, very energetic, but when you need those players to, take the game and take it very personal, to carry the franchise, you now start seeing that you don't have those kind of players that you can actually depend on. The second thing is that they don't have a floor general. They don't have someone that can actually call the game, as it's supposed to be, someone that understands what everybody needs to do at different points in time. That is one of the things that is really, really missing in that particular core right now. I don't know what Udoka is going to be doing about it right now, but really, it really, really exposed them. It got to a point, you could see that they don't have anything else. The moment the Warriors were able to crack them, I was just confident.
3 games lost.
Yes, after game 4 win, I knew that Boston doesn't have anything, because they have thrown their defense at us. They've thrown everything that they had. They've thrown their offensive superpower. And you could see that the Golden State Warriors defense, which was the 2nd best defense in the league, you could see that they were withstanding them, and they were actually able to manage their energy and their pressure. So with that, I knew that all Golden State needed was just to get into the right mood, and they were going to win it.
For the best team, defensively now in the league during the regular season, you think that the defense ran out of steam over this series, because they allowed cheap shots at some point. They were in closing ranks. At some point, the Warriors didn't even have to do much. Just a simple pick and roll tore them apart. You think that the defense of the Celtics also played a major role, especially in the last 3 games of the series, in the Warriors winning?
Of course. The defense, really, it takes a whole lot to defend. It takes a lot of energy. And this is one thing that the Boston Celtics have prided themselves in. In fact, this was one of the reasons why a lot of people picked the Boston Celtics to win this particular series.
7,
Yes, this was the reason, because of their defense. You get. So now when you meet a team that has a very strong defense, now it's no longer defense any longer. You have to look at the offenses. Don't forget, the Boston Celtics were losing the ball. The turnover rate was crazy. They had 22 turnover. You can't survive. See, you can survive that with Brooklyn. You can survive that with a Milwaukee Bucks that does not have Middleton and doesn't have Drew Holiday and other pieces playing their best games, right? You can survive it, but you can't survive it with the Warriors because you have a lot of people that can punish you with that. So you could see that 22 turnovers can equate to 3-pointers, 4 points,
pointers,
can easy buckets for
layups,
layups and all that. So that was actually what happened today. It wasn't just their defense. The defense had character, but that turnover rate was so high they can't do anything about it. And the Warriors were punishing them at all ends.
Let's look at the Warriors now. I mean, yes, they were able to get it done in 6 games, but for a team that had the worst record in the league, apparently due to the injuries to Curry, especially Klay Thompson, to be able to bounce back to win the NBA Finals, it's extremely remarkable. What did they do right throughout the series?
I think one word for that is culture, right?
Okay.
The franchise has culture. They didn't panic. They knew that, okay, they had pieces moving. KD left and you had Klay Thompson injured and all that. Those were pieces. All you needed to do was just to get the right piece and regroup.
Yes.
Right? Steph Curry was still there, and he wasn't struggling. He was really good. He just needed the support. Draymond was also there. So all you needed was just the right pieces in
around
place.
the structure.
And you could also see that mentoring going on. Yeah. You could see the unselfishness of the superstars in that team, willing to help these younger guys, grow. And you cannot take away the explosion of someone like a Jordan Poole, Payton II. You cannot take Kevin Looney also. And what can you say about Wiggins, right?
Andrew Wiggins was phenomenal.
It was an amazing thing. In fact, the only word to describe this really is culture. They have an amazing culture that supports young cast, gives them opportunity and hold them accountable.
Okay, there you have it, talking about the Golden State Warriors, their impressive win over the Boston Celtics to clinch the Larry O'Brien Trophy. As I said earlier, for Steph Curry, 4 NBA titles, more importantly, 1 NBA Finals MVP. I mean, the greatest shooter of all time when it comes to the game cannot go down without having a Finals MVP. You know what it is. So let's still talk about basketball, but this time around in the women's category, talking about the Women's National Basketball Association. Seattle Storm's guard, Sue Bird, has announced that she'll be retiring at the end of this season. This is a legend, 40 plus, 4 WNBA titles, 5 Olympic gold medals. She's won it all. She has the highest, the stats are staggering. She has the highest assist in the history of the women's game. Second top scorer when it comes to 3 points and all of that. I think it's a phenomenal, career she's had, and let's just see how she wraps it up. What do you have to say about her?
Well, of course, all good things come to an end. So should I say good things come to an end? Whatever has a beginning has an end. So it's actually a good one. Looking at also the talents that are also emerging right now. Yeah. I think she sees herself doing some other thing in the WNBA and all that. So it's a good one. Impressive. I see her doing more of sports analysis and probably going into coaching and all that. So yeah, it's a good one, and congratulations to her. She had a fantastic run. Yeah. Okay,
talking about Sue Bird there, one of America's greatest experts when it comes to basketball. Again, remember, the women's game, yes, is not getting as much traction in terms of followership and viewership, even fan attendance like that of the men, the NBA. But you can't dispute the fact that the women are also a force to reckon with. 5 Olympic gold medals is no joke. Talking about boxing, we'll be starting with Alexander Usyk, who is preparing for his, rematch, you want to call it that, yes, against Anthony Joshua. Now, a date has finally arrived. August 20th has been slated for the rematch between Alexander Usyk, the unified heavyweight champion of the world, who holds the WBA, the WBO, as well as the IBF heavyweight championship rings, against Anthony Joshua, the two-time champion, or former champion as it were now. So August 20th at the Superdome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. That's the venue, and both boxers will be going for a second time. The first bout, September last year at the new White Hart Lane Stadium in England, ended up with a shock upset as Alexander Usyk outboxed Anthony Joshua over 12 rounds to earn a unanimous points victory. So for Joshua, this will be his second fight in Saudi Arabia. Remember, in 2019, he went all the way to Saudi Arabia to reclaim his belts that he lost to Andy Ruiz Jr. In that shock upset in his debut appearance, talking about fighting in the United States. So is it going to be deja vu once again in terms of Joshua, making Saudi Arabia his home or comfort when it comes to reclaiming his belts, or is Alexander Usyk, going to stamp his authority once again? You can be rest assured that whoever wins this will go on to face Tyson Fury, who who is set to come out of retirement to face the winner. It teased over social media saying he wants $500 million, in other words, $500 million to be able to come out of retirement to face the winner in what will become the undisputed bout, because whoever wins that will become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Let's see how this pans out. You can rest assured if Alexander Usyk wins once again, then they would have that undisputed bout against Tyson Fury, who holds the other belt in the division, talking about the WBC belt. Sadio Mane has been in the news for, all through this year. Won the Nations Cup with Senegal, their first, Nations Cup title, led them to the World Cup. But the latest is that Bayern Munich, beg your pardon, are set to meet Liverpool's, valuation of £42.5 million in terms of getting the prized assets down to Allianz Arena. You think, on the basis of, the market as it is now, Sadio Mane is worth £42.5 million pounds or more? Then besides that, will Liverpool be losing, will they be at a loss rather to lose such a prized asset?
Actually, Sadio Mane is one of the top, skillful player in Premiership for the last season.
Yes.
And all along he has been. Don't forget they clinched the African tournament the other time, and going to Bayern Munich is an asset to Bayern Munich, because I think it's a loss to Liverpool. I don't think they should have allowed such a player.
But they have Luis Diaz, who impressed as well. You don't think Luis Diaz is more like a straight replacement, or a direct replacement rather, for Mane?
He's a good replacement actually, but I think what Sadio Mane has done to Liverpool, is nothing
compared to what?
Is nothing short of reckoning with.
Okay.
All along, and I believe in a team having a full, full strength, a full backup players, to assist and to make sure that there is victory at all the time.
All the time. Okay. As I said earlier, we'll be hitting home stretch on the show, and we have to talk about this. The 2026 World Cup is still 4 years away from now. Yes, it will be taking place in the summer, which is the conventional period, as against what we have in the winter. But the latest news about the 2026 World Cup is that the 16 venues have been confirmed, talking about the stadia that will host the matches. 11 will be in the United States, 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada. Remember, all 3 countries are co-hosting the World Cup, and this is the first time in the history of the sport that is happening. So you have the Los Angeles Rams SoFi Stadium being among the 11. You also have the MetLife for the New York Giants also being among the 11 stadia in the United States that has been chosen to host World Cup matches come 2026. In fact, all 11 stadia that are based in the United States are all NFL matches, talking about National Football League matches that they own the stadium. So it is what it is. It's on that note we have to call it a day due to time constraints. Afolabi Shomoye, thank you so much for your time. We'll have to do this next week, with more time.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.